What's going on, guys? Cam here and Damian G are back for another recap of Tokyo Vice Season 2, Episode 5, which is premiering on February 29th, this Thursday. This was a very interesting episode, as always, with Tokyo Vice. Many different storylines as well as dynamics and characters' lives that are all coming together for one catastrophe plan at this point. It's insane.
Yes.
Definitely not how I thought this episode was going to end. And by the way, at home, everybody, this is a full spoiler recap as well. So if you don't want to hear the end, you might want to get out of here right now. Then, so all right, so we pick back up at this end of this episode, with Jake doing his terrible. I'm shocked. It's right. Like,
oh no!
Oh my god!
Oh god!
And then you get to see a full version of Baku falling off this like 37-story building and just being pancaked from being thrown by Tozawa and his men. And it's insane because, of course, once again, this is a story that can't be let out. And the first thing Jake does when he sees it, he takes a photo of the dead guy. And I was like, oh, that's kind of wild, bro. Like, he didn't call the police. He was like, no, I just need a photo, because he's so invested in busting Tozawa, man. Like, it's just no common sense at all. What did you think of this opening scene in this episode?
You actually just brought up a really interesting point about Jake for me, because even though, we didn't really see season 1, his actions, you're trying to see why he's justifying the acts he takes. That, like we said, I called it white privilege last week.
Right.
But what's his main motivation? Because it's not for his family, because we've uncovered that he doesn't care about his family as much.
Right.
They're not a high priority. The cases are. So why does he want to bust Tozawa? It's not because his men whooped his ass last season. Nope. That's not the reason he wants to bring down Tozawa. No. And then I started to think about it. This is all for the girl.
Oh,
and
100%.
Yeah. But here I was thinking it was about his career.
No.
And it's like, no, dude, this is about the girl. Yeah. Big picture. So him taking these chances, risking being caught, him doing the most OMG seeing a body ever I've seen in my life. Jake, you have further solidified with me. You are the least likable character. Now, next to Samantha, you are the least likable character on the show.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way, and I feel like maybe at some point, maybe that was his overall plan to take down Tozawa, or not to take down Tozawa, but kind of get an insight on what that world is like. Like to expose it, to be able to tell a story that's never been told before. But once he met Masaki, that was it. Like he's literally love struck, forgot his whole entire place, plan, and everything else. And I can't believe he's still alive in real life, to be honest with you. There's no way he did this in real life, because I'm like, they would have been caught him, especially with the picture flash and all this stuff. I'm like, it's just wildly arrogant and sloppy at this point. I'm like, super shocked.
That's the good word, sloppy. That's what he's been this season, sloppy.
Yeah. And then we get to see a little bit more of Detective Katagiri as well. Him being the first person that Jake decided to call, opposed to calling the police to say, like, I think he called the police anonymously, right? Is how he tipped it off, because he didn't want, I guess, his news crew or anyone to know that, he obtained this new information that he was going to use to expose Tozawa. So he was like, let me call the inside guy, right? Who's part of the task force taking down Tozawa and all the other Yakuza out here. And as we know, Katagiri is dealing with his own issues right now. I mean, we didn't get to really see too much of it in this episode, but it did it told us part of it, because I believe that wasn't she a detective, I think, or deputy inspector, right? Nogata, she basically put him on a different detail, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, I mean, like, I know he wants to be in the action, right? But he needs to take a desk job, because his kids are completely at risk at this point.
Yes.
What did you think about, him taking a step down at this point.
Good. No,
Yeah,
good.
right,
Because it's for his children. The fact
right,
that he actually went, to his superior to talk about, hey, like my kids are in danger. I applaud that because that's what the good dad thing to do.
right.
Even though he wants to bring down Tozawa. But that actually brought up a very intriguing point I want to see play out the rest of the season. Remember when Katagiri told her, I don't know who to go to? I don't know who to
Yeah,
trust in this department?
yeah.
How do we know he can trust her?
That's true. That's true. It seems like everybody's got an angle at this point, or everybody
Everyone, everyone.
they're a pinpoint placement at these jobs. So it's kind of hard to know, I guess, honestly. Now that you said that, I'm kind of thinking about it now, like, oh man, she might be the mole that ended up exposing that he has kids in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we could think about the point as well that, like, I feel like if his boss was I think if his boss was a man, he would have a different opinion about going to her to ask
Okay.
for, because it's
Culturally.
1996, right? It's a lot different back then. And I'm pretty sure, Tokyo was a lot more, I don't want to say masculine, but it was a man derived business for the most part, the police.
More
So,
traditional. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So for him to have a female superior, I think he felt more comfortable because there is that compassion for family and also just thinking about not themselves and just their career. There's
Right.
more to life than that. So I think he felt like maybe she'll help me out. But if she ends up being the mole, then I'm done, man. I don't know what to do.
That was just a theory I had while I was watching it. Because he said, who can I turn to and who can I talk to? And I'm thinking, you trust her enough to do this? Okay, all right, but it's for your kids, so I understand.
Yeah, and there's so many. I mean, honestly, the last episode left us in so many like cliffhangers that we're just gonna be talking about cliffhangers at this point for probably the next 20 minutes because we're still trying to let you guys know about the extra puzzle pieces that were filled in that we got to see in this episode. So I think it cut next also to, was it Samantha? I believe, right?
Yes.
So we got to see Samantha and the architect, man. What is his name?
His name escapes me.
It's like Mashiato, or I think it's like the architect, right? So
right, the architect.
Of course, she got busted, right? Because she didn't put the briefcase back where it was supposed to be. And I don't know. I thought he was definitely going to like manhandle her. He's such a nice guy too. And I don't know. Was there anything that surprised you in that conversation between the two?
Yes, I was surprised that they actually worked together to try to formulate a way for Samantha to get out of this and he could keep his job. And I'm thinking, yo, you are pulling a Jake right now and risking everything just for some girl you've been spending time with at a bar.
He ain't even, man. Yeah, he wild.
Bro.
Have they kissed?
No.
Yeah,
she's on the couch.
Everybody falling too hard in this show. Everybody's falling way too hard for conversations. It's kind of getting kind of crazy. I'm like, hey, hold on now. You got to figure some things out, everybody. It's getting a little wild. But it is 96. I don't know how it was. I was in elementary school, so I have no idea how those things worked back then.
99 was a weird time.
I don't know why I wanted to be 96 so bad. I'm not sure. I think I said it last time. Yeah, so so Samantha and the architect are trying to formulate a plan basically together where he's like, you know what, you can expose or have the news kind of expose this information. So of course Samantha goes to Jake and is like, hey, I got a friend that can go ahead and expose this information of where this I think it's like a development or like a strip mall, a development. So like a development with all these different restaurants and stuff. And of course Jake, him being the nice guy, decides to help out. But the bad part is he sets my man 10-10 up though. I mean, he didn't mean. Did he mean to set him up? What do you think?
I want to hope he didn't mean to set 10-10 up, but
he seemed genuinely shocked though. Like when 10-10 came at him like that, because 10-10 was pissed. I never seen him that upset.
And we'll get to that, but we'll get to 10-10 and his little tiff later.
Yeah. He went to the I think it was the Department of Transportation or Ministry of Transportation, right? And I guess he was trying to confirm some information to let them know that, hey, I have this information, so you guys can kind of let it out, but I got to write the story first before you go in and let it out, or either I could let the story out. And I think that was supposed to be his
they were supposed
little, that's supposed to be him, like, hey, mom, I'm in the paper, and he went to the Metropolitan, or I want to call it Metropolitan because that's what we call it DC, but the Ministry of Transportation, and they decided to hold a press conference themselves and expose the information. And Tintin was
pissed,
hot, because in this world, of being a news reporter or journalist, scoops are huge.
Yes.
This is how he makes his bread or butter to be able to either get another job, or either, get bumped up higher in a salary later on in life.
Sure.
And if your name ain't in the paper, it's like you don't work
exist
there. You don't work there, right? They don't put like helped by Tintin. Like Tintin also wrote this line. like it doesn't work like that.
No.
What do you think of Tintin's whole, how he kind of spazzed out on Jake? You think it's justified?
No, I think Tintin. I think because he's already had one foot out this season, I believe he's been spending more time like with his mom and working on his baking skills, which he actually cares more about than being a journalist.
Yeah, he does.
So his boy threw him a bone, like, "Hey, man." Now, do I think Jake picked the right person to throw the bone to? No, but is Tintin? Look, dude. If you're a reporter, this is your job, right? Even though it may not be your first choice of work or profession, you still have a modicum of professionalism you have to portray.
Yep.
And for him to flip out on Jake like that in front of everybody, because he wasn't alone, he flipped out on him, and he even corrects him. He's like, "My name ain't Tintin, it's Makoto." You know what I mean? Like,
he was like, "Don't call me my friend." It's like, my friends call me Tintin.
My friends call me Tintin. So for me, he wasn't justified in his anger because he was the one that gave up the name of the development.
Yeah, he shouldn't have. He wasn't supposed to expose that information. He even didn't Jake even tell him, "Don't give him the information."
That's exactly, and
he
that's what Jake
decided.
Tells him.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it, and then he still did it anyway. So that's his fault. Like,
his fault.
I think it's just a bunch of different things that are coming together for Tintin, where he's just like, it just seems like everything's going wrong. When it rains, it pours. It feels like, and it's like for him, he literally, like you said, he already had one foot out the door, and he wasn't, dotting his I's and crossing his T's for this job, and it shows. If you don't study and practice for something, you'll end up being sloppy and end up getting bit, at the end, and that's what happened. So he was just looking for somebody to let that frustration and anger out on, and Jake just happened to be the guy. As long as Tozawa doesn't take his anger out on Jake, then he should be okay. I don't feel threatened by Tintin.
Jake.
Tintin ain't. Yeah, he ain't doing nothing. He'll be okay.
No.
Okay, so what's her name? Masaki.
Yes.
We got to see Masaki, right? We thought Masaki was getting out of this life. All right.
Be real, Cam. We didn't see Masaki at first. We heard Masaki.
Oh, yeah. We heard Masaki. Put it on a performance. Okay. Put it on a performance, because her face afterwards didn't show fun and joy at all.
No. Because she was getting in with our man Tozawa, and she was just going through the motions, man. If you've ever seen a woman bored while having sex, it was that moment.
My God, it was pretty bad. She looked very, very displeased and had to fake
everything.
Fake everything. But like the conversation afterwards, she was like, "I missed you so much." But then afterwards, she did a little like, "Ugh, get out of here. I'm tired. When are you leaving? Are you about to go home?" And of course, she was trying to get out of this life, but seems like she's in it for life at this point.
Yes.
I don't think there's anywhere she can go where she can run from Tozawa. His reach in Tokyo is massive. So it's there's nowhere she's going to be able to hide. Especially when I think everything she has is paid for by him.
It's tied to him. Yes.
So, what are you going to do? Your bank card, everything you have. She probably don't have a bank card. It's probably just do it in, 30 their
She gets a
currency. And
bag of money.
that's all. Carrying a bag of money. It says Tozawa on the back of it everywhere she goes. Tozawa's woman, don't touch. So perfect. Jake can't read, obviously, so he's just like, I'm gonna touch. So I think we also had oh god, what was I gonna say? Oh my goodness, I lost the train of thought for a second. Oh, so at the end of the conversation, after they're doing their due, Tozawa says something intriguing to Masaki, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I would love to do this. She's like, oh wow, you seem so energetic, so much full of life now that you came back from wherever.
She's like, I thought you did. Yeah, I thought you were dying.
I thought he was gone. That's it. And he seems to be like a happier guy, to be honest with you.
He is.
For how long, who knows? But and then he strikes up the conversation saying like, hey, I saw some places, that we can go purchase for your mom. And she's like, Mom. And I couldn't tell if she was concerned because it sounded like he was going to be around for a while, or either she was, flabbergasted because the fact that, she thought that maybe he only cared about one thing for her, and that was just to use her for what she was doing that same night. So yeah, so I was like, man, I wonder if it kind of threw her for a loop or how she felt. What did you think about, the mind state of Masaki, or where you think she is right now?
I think she is a woman conflicted. I think she really wants to leave, but no, she can't. And now that we know that the reason why she got into this whole hullabaloo was to buy her mom a house, that's why she got into this lifestyle in the first place. Now she's stuck if Tozawa is going to be the one buying the house. So that makes her indebted to him. Who knows, maybe even after his death, because all of a sudden now he wants to be romantic and take her to the snow house or the winter house in the mountains and be romantic with his mistress. So, I think she's screwed more than one, literal, more so than figurative. But I think with this little wrinkle, she realizes she's trapped even more now. And for me too, it makes me realize she did not care about Jake whatsoever. She just saw Jake as a way out.
What do you think Jake's reaction is going to be like when he finds out that they've still been like smashing this whole time?
Oh, he's going to be crushed. He's going to be crushed. His poor little American heart destroyed.
I kind of want that for him, to be honest with you. He got to wake up. The dude's got to wake up, okay? He is hypnotized by it, and she's hypnotizing other people right now. So, one other person, but
that's the game.
Yeah, that dude's got way too much power to be playing with. I think we already talked about. Do we ever talk about the Jaime and Sato?
No, we haven't talked about.
So many recaps. It's like, whoa. Okay, so we pick right back up after the whole burning down the building mishap with Jaime and the former Yakuza gangster that was supposed to provide these guns for them. That whole mishap happened, and we got to pick up with both of them walking down this frozen, completely covered snow road. And I guess they're just trying to get back to civilization and figure out where the heck they are in the first place, because they rode with a guy, and don't have a car. So they're having a conversation, and basically, eventually it comes out that Sato is willing to help Jaime with this whole entire issue of not having the guns, because the whole point of them being there is to get guns.
The guns, right?
They got money. Cool. Oh yeah, we escaped with the money. But now Ishida, when you get back home, you're
gonna say, "Where's my guns?"
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Where's the guns at? Like, what's going on?" So luckily, Sato's always got a backup plan. I don't think it was a backup plan. It was more so just kind of fate that kind of happened, and he decided that, hey, I've been stashing away guns myself this whole entire time, and that was a result of him, being stabbed. And he was like, "Yo, I gotta like pack something because
just in case."
Yeah, these shanks ain't working for me at this point. I'm not sword fight with anybody else. I'm popping them. That's it. So he's like, "Hey, I got some stashed, and I will give them to Ishida, and we can say we got the guns from the guy. Nobody's gonna report that a house was burned down. That's never gonna get back to him." He says, "But you gotta stay away from our brother."
Yep.
And what did you think was gonna happen on that back road, though? When you saw
I thought Hayama was gonna get got. I thought he was gonna get got. I was waiting for our man to do whatever. Take out the other leg, leave, like you said, take his other leg out, leave him in the snow.
Yep.
But tradition, you have to respect the big brother, right?
Right. Yep.
So and even we get later in the episode when Ishida says, great job on not, you lied to me, but you did so to protect your brother. So I can't, and he didn't mean his literal brother, his, Yakuza brother. So
yeah.
I could see why Sato didn't do it. And another little thing I didn't realize until later in the episode, we don't know where Sato's brother is.
Where did he go?
He's missing.
Can you imagine if Hayama has already done something to his brother though?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Bro, I would
think
be
he's already
so upset. I'd be so upset. And I was thinking about that the other day. I mean, I was thinking about that earlier today because after watching the episode and you saying something about it now that we don't know where the brother is, that makes me kind of worried because he's not one of my favorite characters, but like I just want to see him do well. You know what I'm saying? He's like the kid you want to see get out the hood. He's like, hey, he's gonna make it, man. He's gonna do something different. He's not gonna be like us, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty concerning because, like we said, after that scene, we got to see Sato's mom actually came to visit him at his house, and he hasn't seen his mom for years, right? I believe.
Correct.
And his mom came looking for the little brother, like, yeah, we haven't seen him in days. I'm hoping he just got lost at a brothel and was just having a great time. So, that's what I'm praying for right now. But like,
he's lost.
It's not looking good. The crazy part is the brother's in college, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay, he's in college, and it was like, mom was like, yeah, he's been getting a lot of fights. I don't think I ever like really saw in college where like people are like fight, you know, like that's what I'm thinking, and I'm like,
not those dorms.
Argument a person about like a philosophy paper or like what? How did you? Oh, your memoir is terrible, man. You didn't do good. Your punctuation is off. Like, oh, all right, we're gonna fight. That's what I was thinking about this whole time. And I'm like, it's kind of strange that she said that. Yeah. Do you think that we're gonna find the brother, or do you think we're gonna just be this might be
so Hayama, he's on everyone's shit list by the time we get to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he has much time left in this season, but
yeah,
you're right. You mentioned something about if Hayama did something to Kaito, if he's been kidnapped, he's holding him for ransom. Is he dead? So the only one who knows where Kaito is Hayama. And since Hayama was supposed to let Kaito go, there's a bit of an impasse, right, between the two. So, and I think Hayate knows his time's up too. I think he's aware that he about to get got because he's too much of a loose cannon. He has too many loose ends about him to keep him around.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if Kaito's just kidnapped, stashed away, like you said, like he's locked in a brothel or something.
Right. Yeah. Maybe.
But the other 30% of me thinks he's dead. And he's just pretending he's alive.
That would suck. I'd probably be really. I think I'd be really upset because I'd be like, yo, I just like, you know, when you watch the episode, it makes you feel like it's your little brother, but you understand the relationship between two characters. So it's like, hey man, you know, because I got a little brother, so like for me, it's like I got that love for them that you want to see them do well or better than you, whatever aspect that is. I'm not in no gangs or nothing, but I'm just saying I still want my little brothers to do well, So it's wild. So then it kind of cut scenes and things get a little bit brighter, but kind of crazy as well at the same time. We get to see Trendy, right?
Whew, you want to give a thing about this?
This is a smoky little scene right here. Okay.
Yes.
It's
for mature audiences.
I'm not sure where to start on this one, but what is the other guy's name? His name Michael, I think.
I don't even know.
I feel like his name. Okay, we're just gonna call him the guy from the U.S. Embassy. That's what his name is. Embassy kid, right? So picks right up. Him and Trendy are in bed, right?
Yes,
I guess they just finished, getting in.
Takeya, I think his name is.
Oh, Takeya.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the names. My bad. Jason.
Oh, no, you're good.
Jason.
Okay, all right. I thought it was like an American name because I was like, damn, it's a
Jason Aoki. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jason. Yeah. So Jason and Trendy are in bed. I mean, I'm guessing they just finished because they're smoking cigarettes, right? And they're basically just having a conversation, trying to like reminisce about what's going on and what they just did. And you know, for each of them within a year, I think Trendy said it was his first time ever, right? I think I was like, oh man, that's crazy. So it's his first time being with another man, and then also for Jason, he said it was his first time in like a year because the fact that he got tired of not liking the people that he woke up next to, which makes sense. I think that can go for any type of relationship, you know, like,
of course.
Yeah, nobody wants to be like, all right, well, get up out of here. Go ahead. I'll call your Uber. So $20. So for anybody that can kind of be awkward and they probably get tired of it, which is understandable. But then like the scene cuts again, and I'm thinking like, all right, well, that was over, you know, and then no. They give you a full on
view
thing. Yeah, they going at it. View expression advised. So it gets a little wild, but yeah. And so that happens. We cut again.
I love how you're cutting around this.
We're like back. We're back.
No. Trendy and Jason. Now let's just throw it out there for the audience.
Yeah, just throw it out there.
Jason and Trendy were fucking. Okay, and they showed them fucking. Yeah, and there was screams of passion and moaning, and if you've never seen anything like that before on television, you were not ready, because I was cooking while watching the episode, and then I hear the moaning, but then I hear two men moaning, so I look over and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I see it's Jason and Trendy getting it on.
It threw me off. It threw me off. I mean, you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Cool, you know, but for me, I was shocked for a second, because after they kissed, I'm thinking like, oh, we're going to cut to something else. Right. And then it showed, I think Jason's back. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they getting it. They get in. Right, good for them. Go for it, guys.
Yeah. But remember what we said last episode or 2 episodes ago. This is bigger than them just being in a same-sex relationship or same-gender relationship. Yeah. This is about, in 1999, this is still taboo. This is still stuff we don't talk about. Right. So for this time period to be, to show this as part of the show is a big deal, considering the timeline. But for both of them to finally accept, like, hey, like, I just want to like be with this dude, have sex with this dude, and that's that. Yeah. Like normal people, like no big deal.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it was really huge for Trendy too, because it's finally him kind of accepting all parts of himself, right? Because he said in the last episode, he was like, bar's bar, which means like his life as a homosexual man, right? And then also home is home, and then work is work, right? He's like breaking himself up into all these different pieces of the different Trendy that he has to be. He probably don't even get called Trendy at home, right? Like, so it's only 2 places they call him Trendy, and then he got to figure out in his head, all right, who I got to be right now, which is can be kind of like, I think, very, very not disruptive, but like destructive to a person's mindset and like who they're trying to be, you know, or either just their day-to-day as well. So I think it's very groundbreaking for us to be able to see that on screen, as well as showcase the relationship between the two, since it was, like you said, so taboo during that time.
Correct.
Wild though. So watch it again. I mean, and then we get to cut again to Baku, right? So Baku got thrown off.
No, that's not Baku. Baku's is the boss at the newspaper.
Oh, so which one was the one that got thrown off the roof?
I still don't remember his name, but it's not Baku.
Roof guy got thrown off, smashed the ground, right?
Was he like a prime minister of something?
Yeah, I thought he was like higher than Yakuza, I think, right?
Yes.
I thought he was like one of the old timer Yakuzas, possibly. So they go to like the little, like, it's like a little funeral dinner that they're having, and Tozawa is like the main speaker for some reason, right? I don't really know why he got appointed main speaker, but it's basically him trying to convince the other family members as well as the Yakuza that he needs to be the leader at this point.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? Did you think they were going to like snap on him and choke him out on the table? Or did you think like this was going to like pan out as well as it did?
Oh, I thought exactly it was going to pan out, because there's no way you bring back a character like this from the
Yeah.
dead,
Yeah.
who has ambition, and who has drive, and he's pretty much the main antagonist. So I didn't expect him to catch any flack or anything like that. What I was surprised about was the fact that all the other organizations were so thumbs up, like, wait,
Yeah.
whoa,
Fast.
whoa.
They didn't take a vote. They were just like,
Nope. They were
all
just
right.
doing a slow clap. That was it.
Slow clap. Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, it did take I guess the people that were under the prime minister directly. It only took them like 5 minutes though. It wasn't like it took them like a day to kind of pan
They
over.
didn't even mourn.
They just looked around and was like,
cool.
Well, can't beat them, join them, because if not, they're gonna run us out. And essentially Tozawa's whole plan was join together and we become an organization. If not, we're gonna get run out like our competition, because the police are really cracking down on all of this Yakuza stuff going on right now and all this gang activity. So he wanted to make himself the president of the corporation, right? I mean, he had aspirations of doing like different businesses. I think he said also the Olympics. I think it was something else like casinos, hotels, like he's trying to funnel his money into clean money so that they can thrive and not have to worry about, persecution from the police officers or the government. But then we find out that Tozawa only has 6 months. So what is he doing? Like, what's this for? Like, I don't understand. What's he preserving this for? Who's he? Do you know? Like, I don't get it.
Okay, so here's my early theory about all this. So for the audience, Tozawa goes to this special clinic. Basically, it's, if you've ever heard of plasma spinning with like, using stem cells to regenerate organs. That's what he's doing. He's going to get these these procedures done with stem cells, plasma rich, whatever, to heal. But we're told that he only has 6 months because this is from I believe animals. So I don't know how that works with the human body, but okay. So here's what I think is happening. If he finds, maybe he's found a long-term cure. We don't know. We're just going off of speculation. But if he only does have 6 months to live, I think it's more about his name, getting his name remembered, like just having his name, because, a guy with that big of an ego wants to have his name remembered. A guy with that much ambition wants to be remembered by his peers, by his enemies, by the populace. So like Christopher Columbus, he just wants to be remembered for taking over everything. That was stuff that wasn't his. You know what I mean? So that's what I think he's doing it for, as an early predictor.
Which makes sense. And I mean, that theory definitely holds a lot, I think, as far as the consistency of this story, because Tozawa is the only Yakuza member who's named his gang Tozawa, right? They're named right after him. They don't have like, was it Shikarakai or the other groups? It's just like, I am the name. I am Tozawa. I am the team. Like, sounds like a menacing villain like Shredder. It's kind of crazy. So after that episode, I think there's one more cutscene that we end up seeing. Oh, so this is probably the most important part of this episode. I mean, there's a couple. It is though, because all right. So last time on the last recap, we tried to predict who was going to get got, right? Who was going to get shot? Who's going to get killed? X'd off. I think we said Samantha looks like she's on her way out, right? Obviously not. We were wrong. She must be too. She's too big of a character.
She's too big of a character, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, if she's gone, it might be a lot of viewers gone as well, because she brings a lot to the show. And then I know we didn't see the architect. We said
Kaito.
It wasn't gonna be Jake. Knew it wasn't gonna be Jake. No, hell no.
We thought Kaito was gonna die.
Yeah,
the
Kaito.
little brother.
And he might be one episode away, so we might be right on him. But I think that was it. And I think before this whole scene took place, Ishida basically was riding in the car with Sato and let him know that, hey, I want you to be my predecessor, in so many words. I think Ishida was kind of,
he knew his time was up.
he knew his time was coming to an end. He didn't think. I don't think he knew it was gonna be that night, but he knew it was coming. I feel like he had a cough too or something. Like the way he talked, it was very rustic and low. Like he like had like
With
throat
as much
issues or something. I
cigarettes
don't know.
as he smoked, I wouldn't be surprised if he had
Yeah,
some sort of throat lung cancer.
I think every scene in the beginning, he had a cigarette in his hand. Like every time we see him come on screen, there's a cigarette in his hand. So he probably knew some, his time is very, very close to ending, which is crazy. So in more or less words, he basically tells Sato that he's her predecessor. And then he also says in a comment that I thought was kind of significant, he said, I thought you'd be happy. Because Sato's basically has, a stalled face. He has nothing, no emotion. He's just kind of like shocked. Because we know Sato was about 3 days away from quitting his job.
Okay? Yes, he was.
He was looking for a way out. He was about to have a new son and a new girlfriend. And now he gonna end up being the Oberon or the Oyaban, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like means leader or
the big boss.
Right? Big boss. Damien, I'm gonna let you explain this last thing. Go for it, because it's okay. It's just that.
So before all this, we got the car ride. We have Oyaban. We have Sato. They're talking about Hayama basically lying about the guns. So Ishida knew that Hayama was full of shit, but he just wanted someone to tell him the truth. He knew he was lying. So Sato tells him the truth, says, I brought shame, I'm sorry. And the fact that Sato is so willing to protect his brothers, as it were, and he has his own code of ethics, that makes him the most logical choice to succeed Shida once he passes away.
Yeah.
So they're going to this meeting. It's a meeting between the architect, Samantha, and these two. And it's over the new development that the architect thinks is going to solve everybody's problems. He's going to keep his job. Samantha keeps her club. Ishida's happy. Kumbaya in the city. So we get a tense moment in the club where Ishida thinks that he's being played for a fool, right? Mm-hmm. He's being disrespected by this civilian known as the architect, because that's what we've called him.
Yeah.
And Samantha gives him a document, reads like, I guess, tax filings, projected income revenue from the site, and he makes a deal. Ishida makes a deal, a verbal agreement. Okay, deal's on. So it seems like everything's all good.
Yeah.
Until two people with masks show up. Now, at first, I thought it was going to be I thought it was staged at first.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of Shida's plan the entire time. Because remember, he says someone maybe need to get taught a lesson tonight.
I thought so too. And then I was like, oh, they took it too far. Uh-oh.
So there's two dudes just randomly roll up, ski mask, and I guarantee you one of them's Hayama. I guarantee you one of them was Hayama's men or Hayama himself. But they barge in, shootout ensues in the club. A girl gets shot in the foot, apparently, while crawling away. Pop, pop, pop. And then you see Ishida get hit. And then he's like trying to fight one dude off, and he shoots one dude, but then the second dude just point blank, pop, 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 right in his chest.
Yeah, right.
And Ishida dies a heroic death.
Yeah.
And one of the last words before he did his last stand, he tells Sato, don't die.
Yeah.
He tells him, don't die, because if you die, Hayama gets this, he's the next up in line.
Yeah, everything's a little shit. He's like, man, please.
So we're thinking, oh shit, Samantha's gonna get got, because we talked about this. But not only did Ishida get got, the architect got. He was the first one that got shot. In some weird hail of bullets. He didn't get down fast enough.
Like some ricochet type stuff. And I was like,
got shot in the head, dead.
Yeah, he's toast.
So it ends in a shootout. And we're left with Ishida dead. We're left with Samantha looking in shock. Sato fighting for his life. The architect's dead. One of Samantha's girls has been shot already.
Yeah.
And we are left to believe that it might be Hayama, one of Hayama's men, anybody for that instance. It might be one of Tozawa's men, because remember the last episode, Tozawa and him were talking about killing each other, putting their differences aside. So it ends right after this gunfire.
Yeah.
And we're left with, I'm sorry, what? And that's pretty much how it ended.
Yeah. I was shocked. I'm be honest with you. I mean, I knew it was coming, right? Once the guys got on the elevator with the mask, but I didn't think like it was gonna go down like that. I mean, they gotta start carrying guns, man. And first off, all of them are terrible shots. Okay, everybody was a terrible shot.
Stormtrooper aim.
Did you see how? You see how many times Sato shot, and he shot one person maybe in the shoulder one time. I was like, you bought guns, you got to go to the range, brother. Like, come on now, you can't just be out here spraying bullets. That's how people get hurt. And evidently in this scene, this is exactly what happened. More casualties left and right with customers than anything. So I think about a lot of things when I see this episode. It's like, or especially this ending. It's like, all right, Ishida's dead, right?
Yes.
Does the Shihada Kai know that Sato is supposed to be the predecessor?
No, because no one told him. He never made the announcement. He's screwed.
Screwed, bro. All he has is a verbal confirmation from the guy who's just died like hours ago. So I'm like, damn, now Sato's really screwed because now he gonna be bumped up to first command. Hayama gonna take over, who probably bow down to somebody else, or probably might be already on Tozawa's payroll at this point.
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking like, Hayama's on Tozawa's payroll.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, I'm on Tozawa's payroll. I know where he's gonna be at. Those guns they used might have been from Hayama. The guns that Sato got, right? Hayama might have taken them and then gave them to these guys, and now the guys end up shooting Ishida.
That's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
This is too much for me. My God. Okay.
If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss something. So we tell the audience, please pay attention. There's a lot.
There's so much going on each episode too. They pack it in those 57-minute episodes. I love them for it. Sometimes it throws me off, and I'm like, man, I gotta go back and watch it. But, whoo, man. And then another thing is, I was like, Samantha probably got PTSD now. She gonna be all over the place. And what was the girl working the floor? Erica.
Yes.
Erica might got shot.
I thought she was gonna die.
I think she might got shot. We ain't see it. But when we pick up next episode, Erica might be bleeding out, bro.
Because our boy Sato, if he sees her dead, that's more PTSD for him because he wanted to leave and get with her.
Yep.
So we got some interesting little storylines happening. This episode was a lot less Jake centric, which I loved.
Thank God. Yes.
Thank God. And more, again, pulling these storylines together and integrating all the threads, and another cliffhanger, just like last week.
Yep. They just keep on doing it to us each week. And I like it, though. It's not like a bad cliffhanger where I'm like, that was so dumb. It's like good to be continued afterwards. Yes. So I'm like, oh, man, I'm looking forward to next Sunday or next week. And it's like, oh, man, it's going to be really, really good next Thursday. So did you have anything else or anything that like we missed on that you think that like really needs to be pointed out to the viewers?
Nothing of note, except for I think we're going to get to the bottom of who burned down the building, because there was debate about, they're trying to figure out who still burnt down the office, the newspaper office, destroying the evidence. So they think they have it down to one or two people. So we'll find out hopefully, but that story's taking a backseat to everything else. But I think we've touched on all the major plot points.
Yeah. And I will say that about this show is that even though when you think that an issue's been swept under the rug and kind of done with from like episodes ago, it pops right back up. I wouldn't be surprised if those bikers come back as well and have some new information that they got to spill on gang members or something. Cause I'm like, man, it's just non-stop funneling of information back and forth, and the Yakuza is definitely at the center of most of it though, man. But if you had to rate this episode, what would you give it?
Out of 5, I'd probably give it a 4.5.
Okay, same. I think it was a really good episode. Definitely had a good balance of story plots as well as action scenes as well. Last action scene was cool. It wasn't like anybody.
It wasn't John Woo. It
wasn't John Wick, but like it was good though for what it was, honestly. But they need to work on that aim, to be honest with you. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us here today at BigGoldBeltMedia.com for another recap of Tokyo Vice Season 2, Episode 5, which will be available February 29th, this Thursday on Max. For more content just like this, go ahead and check us out at BigGoldBelt.com. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
I